What's going on, family? Welcome to the latest installment of TSC Unleashed. We in the building, man. What's going on? Happy Who Dat Friday to the family members in the building, chiming in. Tragic 504, what's hood with you? Teal, the legend in the building. What's up, my dog Teal in the building as well. Thank you, family, for joining us for this installment. Friday edition of TSC Unleashed. We're closing your week off correctly, man. How about that? And of course, I'm Big Q, and we're bringing in my host on TSC Unleashed, Mozzie. Uncle Mozzie's in the building. What's up, Mozzie?
What's going on, fam? How y'all doing? I'm here today, live in the living color.
Doing good, my friend. Everybody's terrific. We all doing good. And Mozzie, gotta look at it, man. The first thing I want to talk to you about, man, is some of them games in the NBA that happened the other day. It looked like you have to take the broom and put it in the closet because obviously Toronto was showing what time it is. They were able to get the win over the Celtics 104-103 to make it a series again. 2-1 they trail, but they're showing that there's a reason why we are indeed the defending world champions. Without Leonard and anything, they have a lot of heart in this one, man.
Here we go, bro.
29 points for Kimba in the losing effort.
This is why they don't give people like you and Brother Kev victories in the win. See, because every time this type of stuff happen, y'all won't put all this foolishness out. We both know what happened, bro. If they could recreate that same circumstance again, where you got a 6-foot dude that got an inbounded over a 7'4" taco fall perfectly in the shooting pouch and posture of OG, right when he was bending in the perfect cradle position to shoot it with 0.5 seconds left from the corner and make it all net. That's one in a man. Look, I got a better shot at getting struck by lightning, getting bit by a shark, and when the Powerball at Mega Millions in the same year. I got a better shot of all that happening than what I saw last night. So am I worried that Boston is going to lose this series? Absolutely not. We dominated this team. We were winners of 7 in a row, which kind of, I guess, looking from an odds perspective, I guess the odds were against us to have a rough game. But I mean, everything that could have all the balls that could have bounced right, if you will, bounced in the direction of Toronto last night. That's how that went. It sickened me, but at the end of the day, they did exactly what, they took advantage of a bad situation. That's what it was. And I mean, I can't speak to it any more than I've already spoken to it, that this is a brazen streak of luck. It'll never happen again. I want everybody to enjoy, what's going on now, because we coming out with a vengeance tomorrow. And bro, I ain't gonna lie. These people might not break 80 points tomorrow. We're going to come out with a vengeance tomorrow and light these people, just tear them up. It's going to be unbelievable what happens tomorrow, bro, because we don't take luck and we don't see people like you and Brother Kev and a couple other family members. Y'all try to take a one-up lucky circumstance, just like last year to the Game 7 in Philadelphia, when Kawhi went falling down in the corner, shot the 3. I mean, this is how Toronto has to win. Same type of boobery and foolishness happened last year. Totally different team, though. We're not going to play with them. We tried to be nice. We tried to play fair. We let y'all hang around, and then y'all whale one from the corner. Crunch time, 0.5 seconds left. But I guess that's why you play the game. But nobody saw that coming. Anybody that sit here and say they had confidence in that shot and that entire last sequence of play for the last half a second of that half a tick, it is a bold-faced, blatant lie. Boston was robbed and cheated out that game, but it is all in a game, and it happens. This is why I say you got to strike quickly and kill. You can't let them hang around and linger, because these are the type of foolishness, booberic, that's my new word, booberic things that happens to you when you don't crush, kill, and eliminate immediately.
Well, I mean, be that as it may, It's only considered boobery if it don't work, correct? If it don't work, I mean, but it actually worked. It's boobery it's like it's related to dysfunction, right? I mean, but it actually works, so it can't be the same. 104, 103 is where it's at, and in the matchup, let's go over what Toronto did. Lowry turned in a major point performance. He stepped his game up in this one. He had 31 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds in 46 minutes, man. 46 minutes as he was out there on the court. 13 of 23 from the field. He was 2 of 8 from downtown. 31 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds. Lowry was on fire in this game. Then behind him, you had Fred VanVleet, who played 41 minutes. He was 9 of 22, 5 of 13 from downtown. Finished with 25 minutes and 25 points, 6 assists and 3 rebounds. And then really, the rest of the starting lineup kind of helped him. Siakam, 38 minutes. He had 16.7 rebounds, a pedestrian 16. 12 from OG Anunoby, except for his big shot right there that kind of lifted him there. Gasol, a minuscule 10 points and 8 points off the bench from Powell. So, I mean, if it wasn't for Lowry, man, who just came alive in this game, they more than likely would have ended up losing this game. But then again, you look at it, Walker for the Celtics was excellent. He had 29 points in the matchup in 39 minutes. Jason Tatum wasn't Jason Tatum. If Jason Tatum usually plays like Jason Tatum, they win by 5 over this team. 15 points is what he gave them. 9 rebounds, 6 assists in 39 minutes. He was 5 of 18 from the field. Not really exciting numbers from Jason Tatum. 19 from Jaylen Brown in this affair. 19 and 12. Jaylen continues, steps his game up. 19 points, 12 rebounds in 40 minutes of action. Marcus Smart had 11 points as well. No double-digit scores for the Celtics off the bench. But had Jason Tatum stepped up like he usually do, they more than likely will win the game. But they took advantage as the Raptors sneak one over the Celtics, 104 to 103, to the chagrin of Uncle Mozzie.
That's awful, man. And you know what? 2 things really upset me in life, and I've never been more upset ever again. The first one was how they made Juggernaut skinny in the X-Men movies, and the second one was what I saw last night. Those are the 2 things that had me most disappointed ever in my life, man. Skinny Juggernaut in the X-Men movies, and this foolishness that took place last night down in the bubble that y'all want to constitute as a valid win, when we all of us know that would never, if that same scenario were to take place 100 more times, it would only happen maybe 1 out of 100. It's like Doctor Strange and Avengers. He said we got 1 out of 1,300,000 different possible. Only one gonna work, and if I tell you, it won't happen. So I mean, come on, man. I don't constitute that as a win. It's not a win. It's cool. I mean, the only thing that y'all gonna get with me to get me on is the fact that I couldn't put them in my dustpan and throw them out with the rest of the garbage. But that does not stop the Celtic train. The Celtics are going to beat these people. If last night was any indication, it should tell you that, barring a miracle guided by the hand of the Most High himself to guide a basketball over and around a 7'4", 9'10" dude with his wings, with his hands spread out, over him directly into the shooting outstretched hands of OG, who is not the best 3-point shooter on the team. Think he was only 2 of 3 or 2 of 4 last night. For a clutch shot like that from the corner, all net, that'll never happen again. And that's all I'm gonna say on it.
All right, well, there it is. Celtics, they go down in series is 2-1 favor of Celtics. Let's move on to the next series. Wow. Friday's turned out to be a real downer for Uncle Mozzie, as his hand-picked Denver Nuggets club collapsed Major League by 23 points. 120-97, an absolute destruction of Denver in this matchup here. Quite amazing. Let's go over this and see what excuses Mozzie would say about this one. All right, let's keep it going. All right, looking at the clip, man, listen, man, this was absolute destruction, man. This was dysfunctionality. This was boobery on the hand of the Denver McNuggets. 29 points for Kawhi Leonard. 12 of 16 from the field in 32 minutes, man. He balled on them. Morris Sr. had 18 points and 5 rebounds in the matchup. 19 for Paul George, a respectable 19. 6 of 13 from the field, 2 of 7 from downtown. In 33 minutes, he threw in 19 points. Pat Beverly, 8 points in the matchup. Zubac, just 4 points, 7 rebounds, off the bench is where it works. Montrezl Harrell had a 15-point matchup. 15 points for him off the bench in 19 minutes. He was 5 of 11. Harrell is a beast, man. Hopefully Pelicans can find a way to get a dude like that. More than likely they won't. Lou Williams, 10 points. Despite he's 5 of 19, 0 of 2 from downtown in 24 minutes. He had 10 points off the bench as well. 7 from Jeff Green as the Clippers take apart the Denver Nuggets, whose top scorer was, once again, it was Nikola Jokic. He had 15 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 6 of 14 from the field, 0 of 2 from downtown in 30 minutes. He just wasn't, he did whatever he could. It wasn't enough. 13 from Millsap in the matchup, 12 from Grant, 12 from Murray as he's fallen from the heavens now. 33 points after putting up all that production. I wonder if he's kind of burnt out heading into the series after scoring in the 30, 40 range several times in the last series. So he came crashing down to earth this time. 12 points in the matchup. That simply won't do. And of course, off the bench, Monty Morris had 12 points as well. So, Uncle Mozzie, what kind of excuses have you had for the Denver Big Nuggets here? 120 to 97, a 23-point thrashing, man. What happened here? What happened?
First off, let's not delve too deep into what we got going on. All right. Again, I'm a man that deals in averages, right? And
it's 23-point average.
Considering we just dealt with, or we had to come back and pull off 3 games in a row, really big series, poor matchups across the floor, for us to dig down and find the internal fortitude. That's a great word. For us to find the internal fortitude to come back and win a game like that is almost impossible. We did it, a series like that. Only 12 teams have done it. We one of those 12. So for us to have come back and found a way to come back and will ourselves to win that game. So when we did that, that obviously took some energy out of us. That obviously took something away from who we were as a team. Not to say we won't win the series. However, we are coming off of an emotionally spent series. So I didn't expect them to come out guns blazing. I do expect them to come out and win the series. However, the laws of averages simply, are going to apply. And what goes up obviously has to come down. That doesn't mean it's going to stay down, but it has to come down. You can't win every single game. You gotta take an L in order to take a W. So I don't look at this as it's just a minor setback for a major comeback. I don't like the Clippers' odds of beating this team. We saw who the Clippers were. We just saw the Clippers in the last round, and we saw what they did. We saw what they were what they gave up. We saw Dallas take these people to the brink. We saw this. So for us to sit here and pretend that never happened, Dallas never had these people on the brink. Dallas is not a better team than Denver. Not to say that Dallas will not be a better team, because I think from top to bottom, from a talent standpoint and bench standpoint, I think that Dallas may be a little bit better talented, but I don't think the gelling of the team is on the same level, and I don't think the coaching is on the same level. And we just saw what they were able to do, even after of a game 1 win by the Clippers, right? Dallas was able to come back and basically just hand them their ass and take them to the brink of elimination. And if the referees hadn't gotten involved and the ejections wouldn't start flowing, and then the injuries wouldn't have started flowing, we'd be having a whole different conversation about an entirely different series and team and scenario. So please, let's not award the Clippers or crown them kings of the day or champions of the league. Let's just take a deep breath, slow down, let Denver make their adjustments. Let Denver take a break that they so well deserve after playing such a hard-fought series against really worthy opponents in the Utah Jazz. And let's let them come around. Let's let them come up into their own, bud out, and then coming back and beat these people one game at a time. And I could promise you, by next Tuesday or Wednesday, y'all will be singing my song once again. And my name will be in the Raptors. Mozzie, Mozzie, Mozzie. And all this will be behind me.
It'd be a very difficult day. The Clippers are the more they play together, the better they're gonna look. They ran over the Nuggets in this one, man. They absolutely ran over them by 23 points in the playoff game. I mean, it's not too much I can say. They definitely won the day. And, and we'll see how the McNuggets respond to this. But man, listen, this was a blowout in a first round game. I'm just keeping it honest with you. I don't know what to say about that, man. You can say Mozzie, you can yell to the Raptors, people saying Mozzie, but they're not saying that today. They're saying Mozzie, what the hell happened to the McNuggets? They fell through the floor 23 points in the first game. That's not a good way to start the series there, Uncle Mozzie.
Well, check this. I'm gonna come pick up you and Brother Kev. We're gonna go drive in the French Quarter, right? They got all them pretty fancy restaurants in the French Quarter. Millions of people visit it every year, right? 5-star restaurants, some of the best chefs in all the world and culinary arts. One thing about it though, I can take y'all to the back, open up one of them garbage cans or them dumpsters, and I can guarantee you they're gonna have a steak in one of them. In one of them restaurants, even a garbage can get a steak. Remember that.
Yeah, that could be said. That probably they ordered a bad steak. It might have been. You never know, man. People make mistakes, but that don't have nothing to do with it. Well, people, it don't have nothing to do with it. It don't matter. I don't think that has nothing to do with a 23 ass whomping from the Clippers in the first round. But
yeah. Right.
Okay, let's move on to the next one, man, because that's fun talking about that. Okay, today, man, Friday. That's right, Friday, 5:30 Central Time. Bucks and the Heat gear up. Series is 2-0. Man, Jimmy Butler and the Heat. Eric Spoelstra, the coach, doing this thing against Coach Bud and the Bucks. Can Giannis and the rest of the Bucks organization pull together and salvage their season as Miami is crashing on them? 2-0. Man, the pressure is on. Can Giannis and the Bucks, Uncle Mozzie, come back on this series? What you think? Can they sneak a win, much like what happened with Toronto over Boston?
I mean, shit, you already know how I feel about it. I definitely like Miami to come out and eliminate these people. I don't think they're scared of these people. I think they're gonna blow them off the floor. They did it in the regular season. I think we had discussed that I gave them 2 games strictly off their own efforts, their own merits. I think we did see that one of those 2 games that I gave them. I think we saw that the other night. They played hard. I think the calling in Miami's got to be real careful, right? Because like the powers that be, and I know a lot of y'all think that I'm be blowing smoke when I say this, but the powers that be really want Giannis to get to those finals. So if in my opinion, and that's not the opinions of anybody on this show except mine. In my opinion, I think that a lot of the powers that be in the higher ups really want this to be a Giannis versus LeBron type of situation in these finals. So Miami has got to pay real close attention and understand that if they don't blow these people out the water and they keep those scores suspectedly close, those 4, 5, 6, 7, then you allow those zebras to kind of stay in the game, and man, they'll stick you and sting you where it hurts. So I think that Miami has to understand who they're playing. I think they have to understand that they have the upper hand, not to give it back. Let's not come out with the stupid fouls. Let's not shoot ourselves out the game. Let's not keep the games close and allow them to hang around and linger. Well, we'll get the situation like we had the other night, where we had a absolutely outrageous call, almost game deciding call from the 3-point line, which was an awful call. Even Ray Charles could have saw that. So Miami has to be aware of who they're playing, what they're playing for, understand they're playing for house money, because a lot of people had them written off. Then people not even supposed to be here. So for them to even be here within itself is a miracle. Let's keep that going, take it one game at a time, and get these people off the floor and out of here.
Yeah, we're gonna see, man. Coach Bud, man, is a hell of a coach in my opinion, man. He had this team operating like a buzzsaw. But anyway, I mean, I just feel like Spoelstra's got the Miami Heat, man, playing on a high level. But the Bucks, in my opinion, will not allow themselves to be swept. They're gonna fight and try to steal a game or 2 in this series against Miami, and they are very good. So I just cannot see the Bucks get. That'll be a major issue if the Bucks are swept by the Miami Heat in this series. So I expect the Milwaukee Bucks to fight back into the series. That's just what I've known about Giannis and Middleton and the rest of the guys on that team. Plus, Coach Bud is a hell of a coach, so I got a lot of respect for him as well. All right, moving on to the 8 o'clock primetime matchup. It's the Houston Rockets going against the LA Lakers. LeBron versus Harden, man. This will be an excellent matchup right here. Number one, first game of the series in the Western semifinals between the Houston Rockets and the Lakers. Who do you think get the first one, Uncle Mazi?
I got to give it to the Lake Show, bro. I just haven't seen enough out of the Rockets this year. I think they're just way too small. I don't think Westbrook's ready. Lakers have had a ton of rest. Defensively, they're a behemoth. They're a monster. And I just watched a 35-year-old hybrid skinny Chris Paul, skinny Majin Buu Chris Paul take these people to the brink. And, again, I always say where there's smoke, there's fire. And there's definitely something brewing down there in Houston. This is third year straight. They've been in the same exact position. And it's pretty much the same cast of characters. And I just do not see it panning out for them any differently than it has the previous 2 seasons, in my opinion. I think the Lakers take this decisively. If they don't sweep them, they definitely take them in 5.
Yeah, I would have to say if they do a 5, the Rockets are entirely too small. Even though they do have Tyson Chandler off the bench, they could throw him in there. They're gonna obviously they have to utilize them. The Lakers have 3 7-footers, man, and every last one of them know how to run. Every last one of them know how to block shots. I mean, look what happened in the previous series here with the Lakers operating and using those 3 cycling and those 70-footers. Those 7-footers. What is I'm just saying, man. The Rockets small ball approach. That's like bitty ball to me. That's like little children ball to me. Who in their right mind would think this small ball type stuff gonna work against 7-footers running around? Now you got PJ Tucker, who's 6 foot 6, and he's your center. And it's just absolutely insane. That's why they need to run that coach out of there. He's like the upgrade over Elvin Gentry. He's a joke. He's a joke, man. That what Houston is doing a joke. And when they get lunched out of the playoffs this year, I say in 5 games, the first game is definitely going to be LA, but it's interesting to see what Harden does, though. Harden is he plays well. Russell Westbrook is starting to get on game. Those guys are real impactful. It'll be an interesting series, but I have to say that I have to give it to you. I think the series will go 5-1 in favor of the Lakers, if anything. But the first game, we're going to see what happens. I think the Lakers take it in the first game, to be honest with you. All right, let's move on to the next topic of discussion. We're going to talk about the Rookie of the Year. How about that? It's Ja Morant. Ja Morant wins the NBA Rookie of the Year over Kendrick Perkins and the bubble-wrapped one, Zion Williamson. That's right, Ja Morant. You got to give it to Ja Morant, man. Ja Morant wins it. A lot of people thought Zion Williamson was going to take that thing, but Zion, man, what can I tell you, man? He was dealing with injuries, and then, of course, the Pelicans got really scared. They were dealing with him with kid gloves, staggering his minutes. After several months of layovers from the C-19, they bring him back and still staggering his minutes after sitting out all that time. I mean, that was absolutely insane and ridiculous how they had him. This kid is almost like he made out of toilet paper or something. You gotta handle him in some way like he's an antique or something. No, you can't lift. Hey, point sure you put 2 hands on that package now. Don't hold that box with 1 arm. I mean, it's absolutely insane, man. But much love to Ja Morant, man. He deserved. He got a big one. Kendrick Nunn, man, was played a really good season too. What are your thoughts on Ja Morant winning that NBA Rookie of the Year?
I think I just said it all when I said a boo.
I mean,
this should have been Zion.
Really?
I mean, I'm a Pels fan. Of course, man. It should have been. Bro, listen. The Pels single-handedly, the Pels and that fool, clown, retarded. I don't even know enough adjectives to describe Alvin Gentry and his boobery and his foolishness. We all know Zion got robbed. We saw Zion from his inception game against the San Antonio Spurs in January when he went out of his body for like 22 in like 15 minutes or 14 minutes, whatever it was. I knew from that point how special of a player he was going to be. I know nobody agreed. And what really amazes me, everybody I come in contact with from New Orleans doesn't like Zion. We always go and try to find, just the same way we do with our music. We don't like bounce music. We think it's corny, but everybody else got it on every one of these songs, and they make millions and millions of dollars off of it. Same thing. I don't understand how do we have a Zion Williamson in our backyard, in our pocket, and we just unappreciative of him. It's the same thing we did with AD. We were unappreciative of AD. And whenever they leave, we want to rag on them. But y'all constantly ragging on Zion. But if Zion would have packed his stuff up and leave the day of tomorrow, everybody would be crying and whining. Yeah, Ja Morant was an exceptional player this year. Yes, he was. If it wasn't for him, Memphis would have never had any type of contention or shot at making the playoffs or anything. But at the end of the day, Ja Morant, because he didn't make the playoffs, is on the same level as Zion Williamson. To me, anyway, because neither one of them made the playoffs. They had similar records. So I guess what you really have to ask yourself is, when you're looking at the Rookie of the Year, who was more impactful? Like, because from where I'm sitting, I'm looking at this behemoth, this juggernaut every single time he's in the game. I think that Ja Morant just won it basically because Zion's handlers, namely being up-level management and the coaching, didn't allow him to get off like he was supposed to get off. But when I'm looking at Rookie of the Year, best rookie basketball player from what I've seen, not overall, but from what I've seen, I got to give it to Zion, bro. And I think he was cheated. I get it. I understand. Everybody says he's too heavy and he can't do this, he can't do that. I'm just waiting for him to silence all his critics. I really hope he takes this off season, drops a hot 25, 30 pounds. Really, I take 15, 20. Comes back next year, works on his shot even more, develops that shot, and comes back, and he's really the player that I know he can be. We got this new coaching coming in. We could take the gloves off of him, and he needs to. If I'm him, I'm furious because I know that Ja Morant was no match for me at all. Period. So I'm taking that fuel and I'm gonna feed off that. I'm gonna feed a fire, and I'm coming in the next season with a full head of steam, and nothing or no one besides the hand of the Most High Himself can reach down and stop me. That's how dominant I will be coming into this next season behind this type of foolishness, and that's all I have to say.
But he definitely could use it as motivation to get better. There's no doubt about it. But through the season, just to look at it, he only played in 24 games the entire season. 24 games. He averaged just under 28 minutes a game. And that's the thing. How you expect him to win the Rookie of the Year off of 24 games? Ja Morant.
Look at it. 24 wasn't.
Ja Morant was there though. Ja Morant was there. You can't take this one from Ja Morant. I don't really agree with you about saying that. That's we unappreciative of Anthony Davis. We gave Anthony Davis all the love in the world. Anthony Davis decided to leave because he himself lost faith in the organization.
You didn't give him no parts to work with. That's why he checked out. Well, besides that, his daddy told him, "Hey, be with us."
Well, that might be the case because of what sorry-ass management doing, but that had nothing to do with the fan base. We were severely pushing for this man to be what he was supposed to be down here, and it just was a shame it didn't happen. But anyway, let's keep it to this discussion between Morant and Zion Williamson. How Morant played in 67 games. He played 67 games. 67. Zoe Williamson was on in 24 games. That don't have nothing to do with Big Zoe's fault. That don't have nothing to do with the fact that the kid was there. He almost got his team to the playoffs. They went into a playoff situation with Portland and lost. It was an entertaining game, but a lot of people didn't expect that the Memphis Grizzlies with Ja Morant would be that good. They thought that they'll be one of those struggling teams like a Sacramento and all those kind of guys. But you got to get a young man credit. So both Ja Morant and Kendrick Nunn outplayed Zion Williamson simply because of the fact that he was not on the court. 24 games is all he played. This kid played 67 games. It's hard to win a Rookie of the Year trophy off of 24 contests, man. Come on. It didn't let the last few weeks he was completely bubble wrapped.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm a Zion fan. I'm a Zion fan for life. I love this kid. I love everything he brings to the game. I love what he's doing for my city, how he's single-handedly taking this city on his back and try to
in 24 life back. In 24 something games, he did try to take and put the city on his back in 24 games. But we need more than that, and unfortunately, he couldn't do that because of his health situation and the team staggering his minutes, keeping him out of there.
I don't know. I would definitely say that I just feel and believe that
You still there, Maz? You sound like
I
you're
think we had
fading
when
out.
I told you about.
Go ahead, buddy. All right. Sound like we're having issues with Maz's internet. So let's keep it going. We're going to move to the next topic of discussion. Hall of Fame point guard Steve Nash signed a 4-year contract, become the next coach of the Brooklyn Nets. Now, it's according to several reports by Yahoo Sports, ESPN, and NBA.com are reporting that he signed a 4-year deal to be the Brooklyn Nets coach. 46 years old. He has no coaching experience, but he has a history of leadership and playing innovation. And I think he have a seamless transition into the coach. To be honest with you, Steve Nash is a natural born coach on the court, and I think he'll be like a Steve Kerr. Steve Nash would kind of be like a Steve Kerr, like a better Steve Kerr in teaching principles or whatnot. And I think that he had it big time in the move. So Steve Kerr it is comparative to Steve Nash. 4-year contract with the Brooklyn Nets. That's interesting. So he'll be up there with the Durantula and Irvin taking over this Brooklyn Nets team. Ozzy, you seen the reports on Steve Nash 4-year contract agreement. A lot of people thought Tyronn Lue would have been in that, looking in that, but they chose Steve Nash as their coach. What do you think about that?
Well, first of all, let's just get it straight. They didn't choose anybody. This was a KD and Kyrie production. Just given the fact of how impressed Kyrie was overall with Steve Nash growing up. He's said on many occasions Steve Nash is one of his favorite players. Obviously, there's a position and I guess overall statute connection there as far as kind of similar height, similar play style, same position. And I mean, he was definitely a mentor to KD over at Golden State. So make no mistake about it. If they'd have gone to these two guys and they had a coach in mind that they wanted the single hand pick, I think that most definitely, they would have they picked him. So I mean, if they had another guy, they would have picked the other guy. So and another thing going on with Ty Lue was also part of that whole Cleveland situation that Kyrie wasn't really too fond of. So I don't think that he would have Ty Lue would have been Kyrie's first choice because Ty Lue was kind of high on LeBron, and when LeBron came back, although Kyrie was already there, I think that Ty Lue kind of made had the sentiment, although we all shared in the sentiment that it was LeBron's team because obviously his ties to Cleveland and the fact that he was originally drafted to Cleveland and brought them to their first finals in quite some time. Although they got swept by the Spurs, it was his team. Kyrie didn't have that same sentiment, although everybody had the sentiment like, okay, when LeBron comes, you're going to be Scottie Pippen. So I think that too left a bit of a bad taste. And like we already discussed, I didn't think Ty Lue, you and everybody else were high on Ty Lue going over to the Nets. I knew Ty Lue wouldn't go to the Nets. I knew that simply because even without the KD connection to Steve Nash, which I didn't see that one coming, I definitely knew that Kyrie and Ty Lue didn't have the greatest relationship, especially when Kyrie was basically asked to take a back seat to LeBron, who had abandoned the team just a few years prior, just so because he was the new black basketball Jesus. So no, I knew Ty Lue wouldn't go here. We had the discussion. I think that y'all are trying to stick him in Philly now, but it's still not off the table for him to come to the Pelicans because they still don't have a deal done in Philly. But overall, I think Nash is an awesome pick. I think they're trying to recreate the magic they got with Doc Rivers and the magic that they got with Steve Kerr and the magic that they did get with Ty Lue through his first go around up in Cleveland. So, do they need a coach to teach them the X's and O's of the game? Nah, they got Kyrie and they got KD. They need somebody that can manage these egos and just manage the game and just don't mess up. That's what they need. And that's what I think Steve Nash, outside of just sheer companionship and camaraderie that he and Kyrie, I'm sure are gonna build that bond just because of the position and because how great Kyrie could be and how great Steve Nash was. You got to remember, Steve Nash is one of only 3 players, because I think Giannis will do it this year, only one of 3 players to ever win back-to-back NBA MVPs, which is almost unheard of. You know, he's done that with the likes of Michael Jordan in the conversation, Kobe Bryant in the conversation, LeBron James in the conversation, T-Mac, Dwayne Wade, Shaquille O'Neal. With all these greats that played during the same time he played, he was one that won back-to-back NBA MVPs as a 6'3" white guy from British Columbia, which is almost unheard of. He didn't even like basketball. He's a soccer guy. So for that to come full circle like that is really impressive, and I think that was an awesome pick.
Yeah, I think it'll work too. All that talent there, KD and Irvin, Kyrie Irving, I think it'll be fine, man. I think Steve Nash, like I said, he'll look like Steve Kerr, like a better version of what Steve Kerr was when he was a head coach on the floor. So the guy is just a basketball savant, and he's a good guy in terms of being able to communicate the game to other players. So I think it works. I think it works for Brooklyn. And kudos for them for going out and getting them and giving them some stability, 4 years to be able to see if he can get this thing. It's going to be pressure out the gate. When you have a healthy Irvin and a healthy Durant, you know, they're going to expect this team to compete and get deep in the playoffs. All right, let's move on to the next and final topic of the show today. We're talking about training camp buzz in the NFL. And this is coming straight from the Titans camp, as Vrabel, Coach Vrabel of the Tennessee Titans, has said he has an offer out for Jadeveon Clowney. This is, of course, speculation continues to swirl regarding where Clowney will land next. The Titans coach Vrabel addressed that at the top of the press conference on the latest communications between the talented pass rusher in Tennessee. Quote, "We have an offer out. We've been in contact with Jadeveon, with JD and his agent. That's all," he says, "that's all I can report, and that's all I really know," Vrabel said. Now, the Titans, along with the Saints and Seahawks, which I think the Seahawks are probably going to fall out of this thing, the club, they're trying to both ferociously go after Jadeveon Clowney to make the deal happen. Mozzie, these reports started ratcheting up yesterday as the New Orleans Saints are dealing with trying to get the contract of one Elvin Kamara done before the first week of play. And of course, now we have the Jadeveon Clowney. After several months ago, the Saints were then interested in him, but have let so much time pass between them, and then all of a sudden want to jump back with fever pitch after letting Everson Griffin get past them for $6 million to Dallas, after letting Yannick Ngakoue get past them for just a mere second-round pick and a fourth-round pick in 2 separate years, letting that get past them. Then all of a sudden, they have a super interest in getting Jadeveon Clowney in camp. What do you think about the Jadeveon Clowney situation?
I think Clowney will be an awesome pickup for the Saints. I mean, obviously, we can all attest to the fact if the Saints would have had a top 10 to top 15 defense last 4 seasons, I would think that they would have won at least 2 or 3 championships. So with that being said, I think it's imperative that we do get Clowney from a pass rushing perspective, along with Cam, almost got him Jordan. I mean, that would be unbelievable, because Cam will almost get him and Clowney, run him right to Clowney, and Clowney will get him. You know, they had a relationship similar to that once before with the Saints, because, you know, Cam almost got him, but everybody else, like Double D, he go get him. But Cam will chase him over there to him, and then somebody else will go get him. So I think this would be a perfect fit. I think we revamped the secondary to where the secondary, if you put that kind of pass rush there, right, what you basically do is tell your secondary, bro, if you could hang on for 2-3 seconds, we'll be back there. We're going to make him do something with the ball. Throw it away, throw it bad, throw it to the check down, whatever. You guys, we taking the pressure off the secondary. And for a while, you know, like everybody else knows, the Saints secondary has been the biggest, most awful sore spot of any aspect of our team. If we could say anything, the secondary has definitely been the red-headed stepchild of the New Orleans Saints for quite some time. So if we were able to land a Jadeveon Clowney, our pass rush would be vicious. It would be on par with some of the greatest pass rushers, rush defenses that you've seen over the last 15 to 20 years. Couple that with a secondary that I feel could easily be top 10 or 15. And you're looking at an overall defense that might be, 6th, 7th, 8th overall in the NFL. Couple that with that potent offense, I think we got a really good shot. I don't like the fact that Brady's in our backyard. I like even less of the fact that they made the smart move and gave a popcorn, peanut butter, and jelly contract to highly incentivized issued out to Fournette the other day and brought him into the division. That's what I was telling y'all. Even if we didn't utilize him, per se in our system as much, I would have loved to have gotten him just so he wouldn't work against us. And that's how we have to start thinking if we want to start winning championships. It's not always about what do we have. It's also about what our competitors have. Now, for a peanut butter and jelly contract, for a world's finest chocolate contract, you got this man in your backyard twice a year, along with Brady and Gronk and all the other additions they made. They already got probably a top 2 or 3 wide receiver tandem in all of the NFL. Couple that with the most winningest quarterback in the NFL, period. Top 5 tight end over the last 20 years. And now you bringing in a guy who transcends the running back position with his size, speed, ability to catch out the backfield, his ability to pass block, his ability to block, period. I mean, you're giving him that now, that kind of protection, and that kind of almost guaranteed. I'm gonna stick the ball in his hands and guaranteed 3-4 yards. If things get sticky, but make no mistake, they still got 2 of the best wide receivers on both sides, as well as a tight end that you were familiar with, that you won championships with. I would have never done that. That was total buffoonery by the New Orleans Saints. This is what I'm talking about from that team, and this is why it's really hard for us to compete. It's almost unbelievable we've made it this far with having a Super Bowl, considering we make some of the most insane decisions I've ever seen. No, I would have not let Leonard Fournette sit out there for a peanut butter and jelly contract, and I'm going to do everything in my power to get Clowney. If not to improve my defense, just so another team in my division, namely the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who seem to have an endless supply of money with no salary cap issues at hand or in front of them or nothing, everybody's going to want to play with Tom Brady, the winner. That's why they renamed it Tampa Bay, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I'm going to make sure Clowney or nobody else in my division, I'm going to make sure Clowney either with me or he's not in my division. That's what it is. I'm going to make sure I at least my bid outbids everybody, or I'm taking a proactive approach to get him to come to my team before he goes to anybody else in my division and becomes a hindrance rather than a help or an aid. And that's all I got to say.
All right, that's a lot, man, but that's very true. I think a lot of people don't see it as such. They're team focused on it, and you can't help but to look around the division and see if Tampa Bay's bringing up all that talent, and people say, well, it'll take a while for them to put it together. It won't take that long for them to get that talent on point. Come on, fam. It ain't gonna take them a year to start learning how to win. I mean, they have too much talent, and not only these players are talented, but they're talented but very intelligent. Tom Brady is very intelligent. Gronkowski will work really well with him, and they have weapons, and they just sooner or later they're gonna make it sink. It's up to the Saints to make sure they get to the quarterback. Bottom line, if you want to erase those deficiencies or whatnot in the secondary, get you a pass rusher. Anyway, that'll do it for TSC Unleashed. We in the building, man, talking everything NBA playoffs, NFL news as well. So we thank you guys for joining us on this show. We had a few computer issues earlier, but usually our time frame for starting TSC Unleashed is 1 o'clock every day, Monday through Friday, as we break down and talk about all the latest NBA playoff news, NFL news outside of the Saints, and also a little boxing news as well. So I'd thank y'all for joining us. Big ups to the family members in the chat. Tragic 504, Teal the Legend, GM Kev, Iceman, House of Yaskiel. I hope I pronounced that right, my brother. Hope I pronounced that correctly. Big ups to you as well, brother Tremal and the rest of the family. Yeah, there'll be a TSC later on, Tremal. Just hit your notification button. You should get it real soon. And Tragic told Mozzie to preach. He says, now we about to fork out money, 2.3 turbo that's knocking on the transmission that's slipping. Warranty just went out. All right, so thank all y'all for joining us on the show. We appreciate y'all, man. Please hit the like button and please share the stream. Share the link of the stream on your social media as well. So for me and Mozzie, thank you for joining us. Peace.